What's up, everyone? It's a new week. About to start preparing for another contest coming up. Got signed up for the WCB, the World Championship Blacksmiths individual contest in Edgewood, New Mexico at the end of June. So about to start getting after some practicing and figuring out some of these shoes. I've made a couple over the years of some of them, but some of them I haven't made yet, and figured I'll just kind of take you along, just how you figure them out and work up a system and a process to prepare yourself for I guess any sort of competition for making horseshoes. Some of you may also notice that my shop area looks a little different now. I had to move, and I was pretty fortunate enough that another horseshoer in my area, he's letting me have a little space here in his barn. It's a little smaller than what I had, but it's going to work and do the trick. Started just kind of hanging up some shoes. But the way I kind of think about it is you don't necessarily need something fancy to get after it and go do something. You know, if you got the supplies and the tools, you can just get out there and do it. For the coke forge, all you really need is power, you know, to run the blower, and then power to cut your steel. If you got big stock, I mean, you could shear 3/8 3/4 or concave or something like that, but that's kind of all you really need. And need an anvil and a place to do it. And it's also nice if you got lights and you can get out of the weather. So just gonna get set up, get the forge going, and then I'll figure out what shoe I'm gonna start off by making. All right, let's get after it. All right, I figured out what I'm gonna start out by warming up with. I'm gonna start by warming up with the shoe that's gonna go on the foot. So it's gonna be fully fullered with a masselet toe clip. So I measured this length plus width plus 2 inches, and that gave me about 11.5 for this. So you need to add in for your masselet toe clip. So basically I'm gonna bump up a 1/2 inch here for my toe clip, and then that's just gonna be material pooched out there. And then I didn't really add much more because it's fully fullered. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in the toe and then fuller it. And we'll see how it comes out. So this is just part of figuring out a system on how to do things. And that it's also, I'm starting with something light that is going to help me warm up, not go into heavy slugging shoes. Our first heat's going to be tight little bump here for our masselet clip. Just got a tight little area localized. We'll start bumping it up for material to go in the clip. Trying to get the material to bump outward so you can push it up for a clip. So I'm letting it bend just a little bit, come in with the round side of the hammer, flatten. Round side of the hammer, push to your center dot, about pull to your center dot, flatten outward. Now we're starting to get some material pooched up. There's my center dot, so I'm just trying to push it to that this way, and I'm pulling this way. So we'll see how much we got into it. So we got just over 1/2 inch into just the clip so far. And then now we still have to get a wider bump for the toe. So I'm also going to be able to pooch that up a little bit in my next bump for the toe. I'm essentially accounting for 1 inch to be bumped up. So normally with a 3/4 fullered, you would shoot for about a 1/2 inch bumped into your toe. And then I'm also trying to account for a 1/2 inch going in for my masselet clip. So by the time I'm done bumping this, I want it to be 11 inches. see where we're at. Got about a 1/4 inch left we can bump. Flatten it. Gather it up some more. Alright, let's check and see where we're at. Just at 11 right now. Now I just want to double check where my center dot is. We're still at an 1/8 inch off center. So that's the material needed for a Massillette clip. And then basically now I'll turn my toe, and then we're going to fully fuller it in that heat. Let's turn our toe. I'll go through the center. It's always going to be hardest to get radius right there in the toe because that's where you put a lot of material. So now just do it like a normal toe bend. Flatten it. We'll start fullering it. Now I'm trying to make sure my lines line up all the way through the toe, meaning I'm wanting this distance from here to here to be the same as it is here to here, and from here to here as it is from here to here. So just finish fullering it out. And then I've got my caliper set for my toenails. You just mark them the same as if you're doing a regular 3/4 forward shoe. Got my center dot, which is basically my Massillette clip. Now we can flatten it. I meant to do that. So now we're just going to clean up our lines on our toe with the horn. You can use the round side of your hammer to come up right next to the clip. You can do the same on the other side. Now flatten it. And we'll pull it through it one last time. Punch it. And now it's just like making a regular shoe. You just put some heels on, turn it, fuller it, punch it. And then we'll draw our clip. Alright, you guys have seen me make fuller branches, put heels on. So I just went ahead and skipped that part. So now we're to the part where we're going to put our clip on. So, kind of see where we're at on the foot before. See if we're in the ballpark here. actually going to come up pretty dang big. So I need to alter my measurement just a little bit. But let's get our clip pulled and then see how we look. So let's pull the clip. Basically what we're going to do is take our shoe here. We're going to hang it over the edge like that, and then use our hammer to shear it down, and then just draw a clip like I normally draw a clip. Alright, let's do it. See it out. We're going to come over the edge here. Start shearing it down. It's going to be a monster. So we push up here, flatten behind it. Now we just draw our clip. That is a big one. And a not very good one. Clean it up on the horn. Got into it a little bit much. Well, here's shoe number one. Still hot. First one I've tried to do, so I'll just kind of figure out systems and what to do. So obviously my clip isn't very great. Got into it too much there, so it looks like crap. And my fuller end's not the greatest. But the big thing is, this would not fly for shoeing day. That is a lot of length out there. To get it to fit. So basically just need to change up my measurement, and yeah. Essentially I just wanted to kind of show just a process of starting to figure things out. So now that was just my warm-up shoe, so now let's start making some other shoes. I'm gonna make the Sporthorse front Barshoe. So that one's 15 inches, a 3/8 by 1, and then it's got a fullered out toe, or concave toe I guess, and then it's fully fullered as well. So let's do it. Dude, this is 15 inches, a 3/8 by 1. So I am going to measure center, 7.5, and then what I'm going to do is I'll put a mark here. And a mark here, so that way I have a consistent amount to turn up for my bar, because I want these to be the same. It's got a Sporthorse type of bar on it, so I want these to be turned up the same, and that way my measurement here doesn't come off, and basically my shoe turns out wrapped. Let's start by turning the toe, fullering it, and then we'll concave it out and cut it. And then just build a bar shoe. Just gonna start, just put a little bit of material into it. Now we'll turn the toe. Seat it out. Now we'll start fullering. That's for our toe. Now we'll start the concavity. Now this is going to get cut out. This inner web here. A lot of fullering in this contest. You gotta be careful when you get to the edges of where you're cutting it out. It's easy for your fuller to just break through and drive right to the anvil. And then you got a whoopsie on your hands. You gotta do some grinding. Just like that. Now just very light. Got lucky. Didn't mess my fuller up. So now that's cut out on the inner rim. And then basically the best way to clean up the rest of this here is just to hit it with the rasp and file it. So now, turn up our bar and start building our bar shoe. Just gonna run this up just a little bit. Now we'll find our mark. Pack it down into it. Now it's got it kind of pinched up right through here. Fairly good. I'm getting after it. Now the bar that he has on it, it scoops in like that, where it has like 100 fit, I guess, for a bar shoe. So typically I would be kind of leaning out, but now I'm bent in more past 90, so that way it'll help give that illusion. So now we'll just do the other side, turn it, scarf it up. So we're going to repeat the process for this side, run it up just a little bit, come to our mark. Into it. And we'll scarf it. Easy does it. The best way to kind of get those things to line up instead of having to hit like this and like this is you'll just flatten down this branch. And then you come to this side and flatten down this branch. Now they're almost pretty close. Now you can just pop your scarf there. Now I'm going to brush it. Now I don't mind a little bit of a gap in there, because then you can just get some flux. Just go up in there. It's always important that when you're welding, forge welding, pull it out and flip it. Heat comes from the bottom. Your air source is at the bottom of this forge, so the bottom side is going to get hotter faster, so you got to get them to the same temp. So you flip it halfway through, so that way they're at welding temp. Check it again. One more quick flip. It's going to be a quick one. Set it. Let it simmer for a sec. Now we're almost just a bit too hot. Stick it. Now go fast like a rabbit. Pull our seams together. Come the horn. Now we got our seams stuck together. We'll just do one more welding heat for good measure. And since it's pretty close to welding temp, it's not going to take long to come back up. Back in. Crank our air back up. Now what I'm going to do when I first come out, I'm just going to give it a smack flat, both sides, and then I'm going to flip my bar out so that way I can get up in there kind of by that frog plate-ish, whatever you want to call it. We're going to do the same thing, we'll flip it. High heat. Kind of want to be fast with this. Simmer for a sec. Come out. Flat. Flat. Now we're going to flip our bar out just a little bit. So we can get in here. I'll go flat again. Alright, now we got our bar welded together. Now we'll just kind of finish mapping out our fullering. Clean up our section here. Put a clip on. I don't have my clipping hammer, so I'm just going to use this. Use my round hammer here. Alright, so now got the shoe built. Just need to put a better shape into it. Basically, it's just round right now. He's got some pronounced quarters in it. So we'll just go through and shape it up. Alright, we got the Sporthorse hand, or Barshoe I should say. Some things I like about it, some things I don't like about it. My shape, I don't think my shape is anywhere near there. It needs to be pooched out more quarter in it, I'm guessing. And I think it just needs a little bit more concavity through here. A clip, kind of pushing over. But that's why you start and practice. Alright, we're making the Sidebone shoe for the shoeing specimen. Going to do a bit of a bump here on the for where the medial fuller is going to go. This side here is graduated, and then this side here is going to be the lateral. So let's do our lateral bar. Alright, we'll do our hockey stick here. Just turn up. You want this branch here to be flat on the anvil, and then you pack it down. As soon as it bends, flatten it out, pack it down, pack it out. Now you want the air gap in the horn here. So then you can forge to it. And we'll set up our scarf. Turn a branch. Alright, we got half of it done. This is the lateral side. Now, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do the medial, because this is ramped up, and then at the bar it kind of slopes down, so I got to figure that out, how to do it. Now we'll do this. Try just running it down a little bit, turning some up. Out. Scarf here. Get our iron mountain flux. Flux it up. Now let's go to the fire. Starting out with the cooler side, the cooler branch, down in the fire first, because that's going to get hottest first, and the medial branch still had a little bit of heat left into it, so that's going to absorb and come to temperature a little bit slower, but almost at the same time, essentially. And we'll do the same thing. We got to flip it, check it, back to the heat. They're actually pretty close in temp now, so it's just going to take us a few seconds longer. Now we weld it. flux it back up, go for another welding heat. It's kind of confusing keeping track of that medial wedge to the bar, so got to think about that. It's tricky making sure that it has the ramp. That's a trip. I'll finish welding it. You almost got to pick up on this side. Alright, so we're plotting to graduation. Alright, so now we're stuck together, we're welded, and then we've got the graduation. We're about 1/2 inch thick right here as it graduates to this medial heel. I'm going to start putting on the chamfer for the outside on the sidebone. And then I'll go ahead with marking, because this side here is going to grow some more as we're putting that bevel on there. Start putting our roll in. Gather it up. Alright. Got the roll in there. Now we can met it up. Mark it up for some fuller in. And some punching. So the medial side's fullered. Just gonna go up just a tipple. And then our lateral side is punched. So I'm just going to go down. Now we'll fuller this medial branch first. Do the side bone one. I'm not real happy with the way this bar looks. I think it pooches up more. And then graduates through there. But yeah, that bar is pretty tricky, really. I'm gonna have to keep that in mind the next one I make. Kind of what I wanted to accomplish today with my practice was just to try to make most of the shoes, or if not all the shoes. Probably not gonna make the draft shoe today, but just wanted to figure out what I'm going to need to focus on more. So the next time I come out, basically what I'm going to do is just focus on making one shoe and just make a couple of them and try to figure out a process on how to refine and become better at it. So today I've just basically figured out which shoe is going to be the hardest for me and which one's probably going to need the most time, my time, to figure out. So I guess now I'm going to try making the old double Dobber real quick. See how that goes. Turn the toe. Set it out. There's our toe bend. Now we'll start by turning our outside heel caulk up. First heat of the heel caulk, just do more of the same thing. Just got to finish up this medial heel. This one's got to be rounded off a little bit. I'll hit that with a rasp, but now we're just going to turn the branches, make a shoe. pretty waspy looking shoe here, so now we're just going to take a heat per branch, clean it up, put a final shape in it, and be done with it, really. I'm going to do my medial branch first because I think the medial branch kind of is what set this shoe up. Well, I reckon that's going to about wrap it up for me today. Pretty much went through all the shoes except for the concave hunter shoe. I don't have any concave, so here's the old double caulk in that. Just got done making. I don't really like it that much. Got some work to do. This outside here looks like crap. The inside, I think it just needs to be sweeter, really. But that's why you get out there and practice, is try to figure them out. I've got my work cut out for me coming up, so I'm gonna have to be getting out here and getting after it. So hope this kind of helps some of you guys that might be going or looking to possibly go in some contests in the future, and just kind of process in which you figure it out. So ain't no other way to do it but just to go do it. So don't be afraid just to go cut some steel and make some shoes and try and figure them out. Everyone's always asking, well, what's the fastest way to do it? And the fastest way to do it is just go do it. There ain't no shortcuts other than just putting in the time and the effort and getting it figured out. So see you guys at the next one. And if you like the video, like it, subscribe it, and share it. See you at the next one.